Hello, my name's NeoGet, and welcome to Creeper World 3. Now, this is a game that I played the original of many years ago, and recently discovered the third game in the series was coming out, so I waited for it to come out, and then just waited to have the money in my bank, and straight away bought it, because I spent hours enjoying the original. So I figured let's jump in and have some fun. So, the arc of the moral universe is long, but bends towards justice. I love how quotes in spacey games have modern dates on the quotes as if they're still around years on in the future, which I fully expect them to be. But Knucklecracker, that's the company that makes this. They have this logo that makes this cracking noise that's so realistic it makes me cringe, it's wonderful. So I'm really looking forward to this. Haven't actually opened this game up yet before this. So by the year 13,271, in the First Common Era, humans had spread to a great galactic empire. All they had achieved ended when the Creeper arrived. Thousands of worlds were destroyed by an unknown enemy. Yet, a small group of less than 50,000 humans survived. Their impossible journey ended in the destruction of the enemy nexus and the founding of a new, sole human colony. 30 years later, the enemy returned. Yet again, humanity held back the darkness. A peace that would endure for many millennia was created, but like all things crafted by human hands, it was not to last. Again and again, the Creeper would return. Eons would pass between each culling. Empires would rise and fall, each more brilliant than the last. But no matter how great humanity became, it would always succumb. Ooh. Through it all, one man slept. His journey on the first great exodus was not to be his last. Guarded and watched over for billions of years, his time to awaken has come. Ooh. Now, when the last of the great human empires has slipped away into the night, the sleeper awakens. Oh, go on then. Right, so we have our story there. It's similar to the story in the first one, so let's see. Leah, I'm going to assume that says. Always big issue with the fact that my monitor is so far away from me. Text can be hard to read. Scars, wake up. Scars. Commander Skarsgård Abraxas. I love the name Abraxas. Where? What? Wait a minute. Who are you? I'll keep the ship lights very low. You have slept for a very long time. My name is Leah. Yes, it was Leah. I don't know any Leah. The last thing I remember is Platius laughing and saying, Fortuna favet fatius. I'm assuming that's fortune favours the bold. Where am I? Where is Platius? And who are you? Slowly. Platius created me shortly after he placed you in suspended animation. I was your guardian for the eons that passed. I have watched over and protected you for many cycles. I am part of this ship we are on. We have been in orbit around a stable singularity for many eons, hiding from all that transpired. Just how many eons? It's difficult to measure because of the expansion of space, the rift space cataclysm, variations in various cosmological constants. Quit stalling. Just a round figure. Over 5 billion Earth standard years. My gods. Why? Answer me, why? I'm sorry, Scars. All I know is that now is when I was to awaken you. I and this ship are now at your disposal. My only instructions from this point forward are to follow your commands. None of this makes any sense, or even seems possible. But I, long ago, abandoned the concept of impossible. So let's take a look. Ship sensors indicate we are no longer orbiting a singularity. Correct. I warped the ship to a nearby star system to begin the reactivation process. Unfortunately, there appears to be a warp inhibitor in this system, so we are stuck here until you do something about it. Warp inhibitor? Move the ship to Tempus, the world without a shield, then launch ground activities. I'll explain more once there. So there we go. We have awoken. There is Tempus. Oh, it stopped orbiting. I like the fact that the planets stop, but the ship doesn't. Ooh, so the one without a shield. Ooh, we did a slingshot. I like that. Okay, let's get onto the ground and get into the actual main gameplay here. Excellent. This world should suffice for demonstrating the core capabilities of the ship. There's a creeper emitter here. And what's this? That might be it. It's normally roughly what they look like. Yes, I'm afraid so. Much has happened while you slept. Dozens of human civilizations rose and fell, each trying ever more desperate measures as the creeper would always return. The last whispers of the final civilization haven't been heard in many thousands of years. As far as my senses can ascertain, only ours remains. Why was I forced to sleep through this all, only to awaken to utter desolation? Strange, this world seems to contain some manner of pod. Technological remnants are rare, so I would investigate. Oops, sorry, moving the map accidentally. Follow the ship's automated assistance system and acquire that pod. I'm assuming that's this. So, select command node from the menu below and land it in the grey area. Yes, the creeper is setting off. If necessary, move the map with the right mouse arrow keys or WASD. Zoom with different things, which actually lets us then view things better, but let's zoom out again a second. Command, grey area, bonk. Ooh. These graphics are far superior to what they were on the old one. Excellent. Build collectors and connect them to the command node. Structure, collector. Oh, there's a lot more structures than there were in the old one, obviously, because we didn't need a multi-tiered menu for that. So you can see the different areas where the heights change. Oops, I think I built that one too far away. Blast. Can I cancel that one? There we go. The creeper's just going to keep filling in the valley. The game's very kind in that it always starts the creeper in some sort of valley place. There we go. Spread them out for maximum energy collection. The more green you see, the more energy you create. Build 10 collectors. So let's be vaguely sensible about the placements here and get a load of it. Still working on that. So as you can see, actually get that triangle. It's good to have multiple paths that a connection can actually take. This will always be what's sending out the packets. There's different types of packets depending on whether you are trying to build things or to create new collectors or power weaponry and things. So weapons are required for destroying the creeper. Yes, once it, as you can see here, we've got a second layer of creeper now. Just cancel a second, there we go. So as it flows out, it's like a wave. It will flow out, filling in all of this eventually, and then it will start to fill in the next layer and so on. So we want to try and get a weapon where we can hit that. So pulse cannons, can we line that up? There we go, we've got the little building ones going now, which then once that's built, there's a little bar under it here that you can see, which is how it's doing it. Let's get a couple more collectors down if we can, so that we can actually connect everything. There we go, that one now fired upon that, so we are going to put another weapon there and another one over here for the moment. So the red ones are the weapon firing. The bar above the weapon there is how much power it's got stored inside it for firing. If you disconnect it from this thing, it will keep firing until that's expended. So you have a bit of work available there. So yeah, spread the network, defeat the emitter. Well, that's actually quite nice that it's saying we can actually defeat the emitter. You'll need to build a nullifier near the emitter to destroy it. Connect your network to the pod beyond, which is that. So this will hold it off quite well. The first thing you sort of ever really want to do is get a ton of energy collection down anywhere where the creeper isn't, in order to then be able to spread your network sort of that bit more. We can put one down here, which for now will be fine, as long as I then put in a weapon to protect it. But any of your technology that gets hit by the creeper will be taken out by it. Something you have to be careful of. So yeah, let's hit cancel a second on the selection. Move your pulse cannons in close to the creeper and surround it. They can be resupplied with ammo once they're connected. As I say, that will keep firing even though you've disconnected it. So, for example, if I take this guy and select there, it will set off. Anytime it can, it stays connected. If I left it and it got disconnected, it would just, as I said, fire itself out and then sort itself out after that. So let's do that and move this cannon in. So you don't have to have all the collectors built before you move everything because of the internal energy, which is really useful. Let's actually put a nullifier right here. Now that's going to need a collector to power it, so slightly inefficient collector layout there. I've just realised that by doing that I've actually disconnected the network. Let's quickly correct that. So that nullifier will then prevent this from doing anything, which will be quite useful once it's built. And on its own, this one, not so scary. Now as you can see, there's multiple grey areas, so I could have put that starting thing anywhere, but for ease it just went where it went. Now we are going to want to move that along, I think. Let's cancel that a second. Move that over. Can I move you up slightly? Thank you. You're not actually firing on anything anymore. Oop. That noise... Ah, it's that. Right. Excellent. There we go. So the emitter has been destroyed. I've just got to actually take out the remaining stuff. There we go. Let's actually build something to power this, as that's about to run out. And then what's left will just sit around. If I move one of the useless cannons over, then I can just destroy it for the fun of it. And now we've got near enough, we can build a collector that will actually get that pod on our network. So I've made a bit of a hash of it and taken longer than necessary to actually... Oh, there we go, the pod went. Longer than necessary to actually take that one on, just because of talking while playing it. But there we go, we've got the key. So let's claim our victory. There we go. Let's give ourselves a name. No group, so submit it. Then see how bad I am compared to everyone else in the world. So there we go. We've got rid of the shield around the other one. So let's head off and get the takeover done. Now there's a lot more grey here to start on, it looks like. Excellent. That pod from planet Tempest contained a shield key for this planet. Obtaining it allowed us to lower the shield and access this planet. Entire planets shielded? This must have been some desperate attempt to defend against the creeper. One that sadly failed. The human civilization that developed this shielding technology had high hopes. They accomplished many great and magnificent feats, but the end came for them just like all the others. There's a large structure here. That must be the warp inhibitor. Oops, that was a question, not a statement. Yes. These inhibitors restrict warp travel to other systems. We need to destroy this inhibitor so we can leave this system. Destroying the inhibitor will destroy all other enemies on the map. Ooh, useful. Why would the Creeper or Loki build warp inhibitors? They did not. I recommend acting quickly and getting us out of here, Scars. No world is ever safe for long. So there we go. Select the command module. Chuck it down in the indicated grey area. Okay. It looks more green to me than grey, but okay. And there we go. So, let's see. Put a collector, yep, that much makes sense on its own. There we go. That will connect it up by itself. So we've got the relay, which is similar to collectors, but very useful for connecting over longer distances. So in maps like this, where there's plenty of things already existing, it's very useful for just linking those up, as it has that bit longer reach. So get our weapons engaging. Now the creeper here has actually got quite a high area, so it's going to pour down this mountain after us, and it looks like there's creeper in there as well. This is going to build up and then flood us. I'm not actually sure if that's just one level. Might be. No, because that drops there, I think. So yeah, that's going to be quite the flood when it gets there. So I should actually hurry up and... Actually, can I get some relays built on these things? There we go. In order to then have a cannon actually near the creeper stuff. Now this will build itself, and this level here is perfectly safe to have things left waiting to be built, because we have to actually flood the majority of this before that grey will start to get flooded. So these sort of tutorial levels are being quite friendly, giving us plenty of time in which to actually work out where we're placing things. So let's try and just fill in some of the non-touched areas to get some extra power generation going, and then see what we can do. We probably actually want relays across much of this, so let's get a collector up here. There we go. Right, there we go. So the cannons are starting. That's going to take care of much of the creeper problem for us. So let's just build a couple of collectors up here. Weapons, cannon. Let's place the cannon there. Chuck the nullifier down. And that should be safe. So that's sorted. Let's get, if we can, there we go. Cannon over here, get a relay out here to start charging that, and we can start then collecting energy from this part of the map. There we go. So that's sorted, but must be very aware of the fact that this will actually cause us a problem shortly. So can I please get a cannon up here and a nullifier before that completely floods on us? So I'm not sure how much longer I've actually got before that floods. That nullifier is charging up. And then we can just see if we can find spots to chuck a couple more cannons down, just to sort of take care of the remaining creeper. Now let's cancel a second. That cannon isn't doing anything. Let's move it over here and get a relay in range. There we go. So that will keep the entire network powered. If we wanted to, we could go putting collectors and things down here, but I probably actually didn't need to put any extra collectors down at all. It just helps, sort of. So you can advance time here. There's also keyboard shortcuts for that. So let's see, yeah, the equals and minus advance the time. So there we go. We've almost got that nullified. And that's done. We've completed this world. If we continue playing, we could wipe out every last trace of creeper on the map. But there's no point in doing that. So I'm just going to claim my victory. Submit that score. Obviously there are a lot better scores available. But I tend to actually only go for time on my second playthrough. So there we go. We've now got a sort of slightly more normal menu. This sort of looks like Cygnus. I don't actually know if it's based on that at all, but it does look like it. So there we go. We are getting an awful lot of speed up around the star. There we go. This warp travel is strange to me. Yes, you only ever knew travel through rift space. The original game, you had these cities that were the power things. Rather than these command modules that you drop down, it was this city. And on every planet, you had to get the thing going, collect any tech you wanted, defeat the creeper as much as you could. You could only beat it back, you couldn't destroy it. Turn on ancient rift devices and teleport to another area. And then just keep trying to get ahead of the creeper. There wasn't actually a way to destroy it. So, rift space was sealed many millennia ago in an attempt to stop the creeper menace from returning. That looks like it failed. Yep, unfortunately it did not work. The creeper arrived in vessels that could bend the fabric of space-time. Eventually, the few survivors of successive civilizations developed their own warp technology. But no matter how strong and advanced each civilization grew, the creeper would always eventually return. But this ship was constructed before those events. Plateus must have known about warp travel and that this ship would need it. Yes, but things weren't that simple. For now, concentrate on gaining access to Starsync. That's where the warp inhibitor is in this system. So that's the one with the exclamation mark on here. I'm assuming that we need to start on this one, which is unshielded. I see it at Starsync, but it's shielded. The threat these people faced must have been truly terrifying. Looks like Telos is our only option. I'll fly the ship there and initiate ground actions. So let's jump in there and take on this planet. See if it throws anything else at us. So we've got quite the defended area up here. Telos, this is a world that has been silent for over 100,000 Earth Standard years. Leah, do you have any additional information about why I was brought to this time? It seems as if the creeper has destroyed everything we ever worked to save. I only have the star map we are following. If more information is available, it is locked away and inaccessible in my gel circuits. Perhaps this is my punishment. Perhaps I died many years ago. Could this be the mythological cursed realm of Helheim my ancestors believed in? Impossible. Helheim. Scars, there's a reactor tech artifact on this world. Pick that up as soon as possible. We can use it to generate energy in confined regions, so I believe that will be that. I see there's also a shield key here. I'm assuming that's that. I'll destroy the 3 emitters and collect that key. So there we go. We want to collect that. So let's chuck this guy down quickly. Get some collectors going around it. In order to, as soon as possible really, get the energy going. There we go. And one there. There. It's not really an efficient pattern I can chuck these in at the moment, because unfortunately they always reach just that one less than I ideally want, so I screw it up on the first round. So there we go. Reactors produce energy like collectors but can be packed in tightly. 10 reactors on this mission, only a couple at the time. There we go. So let's get the relays up on these bricks in order to help, and then get reactors down near them. So let's see what kind of an area they actually cover. Doesn't look like they actually talk to each other, so we'll have to create more relay points to deal with that. So I should really not be building all these relays. This is very inefficient gameplay, do not copy me. Let's dump that in. And then, I'm not sure, are the reactors just actually giving me energy production then without actually making green space, I wonder? I think this will be my energy production. Not 100% though. So, looks like we're going to need more relays in order to power this. So let's do that, and then we can just chuck these down as and when we like. So let's get some of this done. There we go. Now we should actually start looking into getting some sort of cannons going. So let me quickly dump those down, get the cannons going, which will then defend themselves. Hopefully they don't get destroyed while being built. I think we'll be fine, and on early levels you're normally actually quite okay with the rate at which it's coming out, so let's just speed that up a second. Get these built. So the creeper's expanding towards my cannons, but I think the cannons are going to win by far. There we go. So if it gets any nearer, the cannons will just shoot. Now, the best thing to do is build the cannons behind the sort of enemy line, and then advance them forward once they're built. So we've got plenty of spaces we can dump more reactors in. So let's get a few more of these going, as we are going to need an awful lot more energy production looking at things. But once we take back some of that land earlier, then we should actually get a lot more going. So there we go. Alright, energy's at the top. There we go. We're sending out a lot more than we've got coming in at the moment, but that's fine. The weapons packets won't be coming in very quickly, but we're not being overwhelmed by the creeper, so we don't actually need to worry about that. Can I power that? Not really. Let's get a relay down on each side. That one's going to be in trouble if I'm not careful. So let's chuck this guy over here just to deal with some of that. Chuck this guy forward slightly. And this guy. Of course, you lose the firing as you're moving them, but it's not too bad. You just have to keep an eye on what you're up to. And let's move that guy. So there we go, we're making inroads. Now we just have to keep making a lot more in the way of inroads. Let's actually look at chucking a relay up there. That one won't actually reach, but that will enable us to dump things out further as we get our tech expanding. Now, that's actually a really bad idea to place that there, because this is already actually climbing onto here. So let's see if we can get a cannon out quick enough, but there's a good chance we won't. And let's get a couple of collectors down on the more open ground, as that will also enable us to move the cannons a bit more, which is sort of one of the key aims of having them. So let's advance you forward slightly. I believe that one's built, so there we go. Let's just get these guys, no, keep him connected, going. Energy is very positive at the moment, so all's good on that front. Let's try and keep that up now. Now this one's just going to keep this under control. Can that nullifier reach? Not really. Might be able to if I shift the cannon slightly. Can't actually shift cannon. Okay. We'll have to reclaim the land. Okay, this one's not got any firing yet. Nope, it's obviously only just been built. So now let's get chucking down the collectors again. Get the energy generation nice and high. Get the cannons into slightly better positions, and then just keep advancing those forwards. I think if we focus on one collector at a time, and you can see though the second height wave coming from that collector, because we're leaving it alone, is quite high, but that will peter out because of this, so it's not actually a big concern. None of the cannons are being overwhelmed, and our energy production is absolutely fine. Not 100% what this meter is then though, but that's alright. Let's advance that cannon because it's doing us nothing. Advance that cannon. And then we will lob more collectors down, because the area is perfectly well defended. Let's actually get more cannon over here. I'm not going to be able to get anything on there, am I? No. That shouldn't be possible to overrun by the time that gets down. Let's put one there for the moment. It'll be semi-useless, but that's kind of the point. Is just to be able to move it once I'm done. Let's keep that in range of other ones. Let's not go too far that way though at the moment. So this cannon is being useless, as is this one, so we'll jump those forward. Jump this one forward, it's still in range of one of them. Oops. Accident there, but as I've said before, it's just going to build and then they'll get refueled with ammo quickly enough. So not actually a problem, the fact that I'm an idiot. Let's jump that again. It's very much so an advanced game of leapfrog at times, this game. See if we can build those without too much damage, and then we will jump them forward again. Let's fill in that gap, fill in these gaps. There we go, we can chuck one down there. That relay is now actually becoming useful. Excellent, that's connected. So we can just keep this up and win this one, and then once I've won this map, that will unfortunately be the end of the video, but probably not the end of my videos of this game, just because I love this game, you know. You just end up spending hours on it, coming up with better ways to actually take on the different maps, because the way I'm taking these on at the moment is probably about as badly as you can do it. Really. I'm doing no good. So let's chuck that one forward. I think spreading my attention between so many of them is the big flaw of my current actions, but that's fine. Can I get a cannon up here? Yes. It'll be useless soon, but until then, it'll be very useful. So yeah, collectors and relays are two of the sort of big important items that you get in this game for being able to actually move forward at all. Now, let's chuck a nullifier in the mix somewhere. Now, it's probably going to have to be about there. Yeah, see, that's the issue there of how I've done this. So let's see if we can move things around a little. Don't think I can move the relay, no. So it would be a case of moving the cannon if I could, but I can't, so slight issue. Going to move this guy out the way so that nullifier can go up here. It doesn't actually have a target, does it? Great. See if it'll survive. Get this cannon back up here. Looks like it's actually surviving this time, so let's speed up time and arm it. As you can see, we're not actually suffering with any of the rest of it. There we go. So that's one cleared out. We really want to just jump the cannons all forward now as best we can. Get some more cannons out on the other fronts. Start defeating the creeper in a better way. Get some more collectors out so that we can advance the cannons without too much difficulty. And let's take on this one over here now. So we want another collector in here. I really should actually program that right click to be oh wow, I did not know I had that option. That's quite cool. You can actually adjust the formation. That's going to be screwed. Oh goodness. Yeah, really did not know I could do that. That was quite cool. So let's select these two and advance them slightly. Wow. Kind of problematic at times, that, but at the same time, pretty cool. So I want to dump this one forward and swap that out for that. It's going to be kind of wasteful, but I don't mind. And let's chuck one more cannon down just to be useful. Now, these cannons are getting pretty close, so let's see if we can't get a little bit more collector, just giving them the ability to jump forward. Swap a couple of these out, as much of this isn't actually advancing anymore from here. This is just left over. It's only actually here that's advancing from. Oh yeah, as we're zoomed in I can actually see the key on it now. So let's hop it forward, and while I'm finishing off this map, I'll discuss some of the other options that I had in the options menu. That included things like the sound volumes. I've actually turned the music and the main sound effects down for this recording. Then there's the graphical options that include things like full screen, not full screen, a hell of a lot of options for what I would like in terms of my resolution. So I chose my usual 720p resolution for this, which should then look nice and normal up on YouTube. Ooh, that cannon's disconnected and run out of power. That one's about to be filled up, so there we go, let's do that. There we go. Now we only have to worry about the last one. So this creeper isn't really advancing anymore. Actually, can I cancel? Can I leave that one? Maneuver the rest of these out. That one should be enough for what's coming over this side. Tell you what, I'll give it one more. Just to be on the safe side, and then These two I'm going to move over here as well. And let's jump forward, as we are definitely winning this battle now. We're nearly done. Bit of an overkill on the number of cannons, which, because of building times and things, also means a complete overkill on the actual time that I've taken to do this. But oh well. It'll all be worth it in the end. So let's chuck out a couple more collectors, which will advance the ability to move the cannons. Select a few of those and move those forward. And then we're nearly done. As you can see, the second height level is actually shrinking because it's being drained down into the lower height as I defeat the stuff. So no problems there. Let's jump that lot forward. So as you can see, these have been easy levels just because they are tutorial levels. It's quite nice though, because the tutorial levels also give you a much better sense of sort of the ongoing story than some of the later levels can. At least that was my experience with the first one. I mean, there's a story through the whole thing, but you definitely feel much more of it in a way because you're just paying more attention to it because the game's easier at this point. So let's speed that up and get ready with a moved forward collector. So there we go, we'll just charge that and we've completed the level. There we go. So victory in 19 minutes, which is a ridiculous time. There we go, 2 minutes 26 if you're not completely distracted. So I hope you enjoyed this look at this game. I just really love this game. So let's return to Origin if that's the thing. Yes, so we'll pick the settings options just to quickly show you what it's on about. You can change the colour of the creeper and things. This is all completely adjustable. Change your different things here. Lots of options here for enabling and disabling things. This one, where the game is automatically starting a level as soon as I click out the conversation, that would stop that. And it's all completely rebindable. Although this looks quite complicated, it's actually almost none of this is needed. Basically your WASD to move around the map and your clicks. So here I've got middle click doing nothing. So I'm actually going to set that to cancel for ease. Or actually, let's set that to move map. No, middle click, I'm less likely to do that wrongly. So there we go, just easier for me. So that will now remember that. And there's these different things, so you unlock them through different missions you do. This one's unlocked after you do the first 5 missions, so I've nearly got that already. As I say, I will actually do more videos on this game as I unlock these things, because if it's anything like the previous installments in the series, there's going to be the ability to make your own maps. So there we go, make your own custom worlds and upload them, which then means that I can take on some custom maps. Custom maps have a habit of being incredibly evil, but also the map maker is incredibly intuitive, so really easy to get involved with making your own. So I hope you'll check this game out. There are really hours of fun to be had in this game and in the rest of the series. Go back and play 1 and 2. I mean, I plan to go back and play number 2 at some point. I've accidentally skipped that, but I was too excited when I saw Creep World 3 was about to be released on Desura when I first remembered this series, and it was released now a few weeks back. So it's out on there. That's where I've got my copy. You can also get it from the website. I'll include a link to the website because there's also a demo that's from the first game that you can play to have a little go at it, see how you get on with it. But it's really fun. I don't know anyone that wouldn't enjoy this. So I hope you check it out, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.